Hello again, adventurer. Whether on a shooting star, a firefly, or a little muddy serpent, my wish is that this day finds you well, and not stretched too thin. But however it finds you, I'm glad you're here, and I promise not to chant your name 3 times to push your limits even further. I often find myself in these reflections trying to hold sympathetic space for the ways in which caring what people think can be a really legitimate factor in decision making. I think narratives of hyper-individualism are mostly untrue because they falsely imagine that any of us are immune to social pressure. And yet, today's episode reminds me there also is no way to stretch around the fact that sometimes what other people want for us just isn't actually best. There are people in our lives and in the world who are willing to ask us to overextend because of what it can offer them. In fact, for much of the world, exploitation is the foundation of our economic system, and always has been. Of course, economic coercion runs a bit deeper and is usually a little more invisible than the differences between our friends who really care about us and hot dog nights who just need help getting out of baby us trouble time. But it holds true that oftentimes we are able to identify real care by its contrast to other forms of relating. When we know what genuine care feels like, we stop accepting validation that poisons us with scorpion stabs to the nerves. Or at least sometimes we do. Sometimes our mind is clouded by how hungry we are, and we don't know how to take care of ourselves because we just need a sandwich to smash our face into. And that's when it's great to have friends who actually do know how to model care for us, and who can see ways of honoring our wish for the ancient psychic tandem war elephant and cleverly rescue us from danger. Because finding ourselves exhausted and unresourced in a maze is honestly too often what life can feel like. And actually, maybe this isn't so unrelated to economic exploitation. Genuine care is a powerful force because it makes real to us the possibility of different ways our lives could be. As Alexis Pauline Gumbs reminds us in the foreword of Practicing New Worlds, quote, "What ultimately brought the plantation system down, according to the colonizers themselves, was how the idea that there were formerly enslaved people somewhere practicing freedom made captive plantation workers ungovernable." Which is to say, care, actual care, genuine care, radical care for ourselves and for others is a profoundly powerful force. So really listen to the people in your life who model genuine care. Spend more time with them, organize your life around them, and give care back to them. The more we practice care by giving and receiving it, the more we shape the world into a more caring and just place. So hop on board this ancient psychic tandem care elephant with me and let it give you control. Choo choo. So as you begin to settle, I invite a sense of continuity between what you were just doing and where you are right now. This posture, we assume, isn't somehow different or forced or separate from our lives. It is a part of the larger whole. And of course, the quality of attention and energy are different. It can feel more restful, more easeful. But this is still you. There's no special other version. This is squarely integrated into your life already, right now. So with that, any posture works. You can take some deep breaths if those feel good and accessible. Hum, a sigh, a moan. Just allowing your attention to kind of pool in this space. It can help to have a place to dedicate your attention. The feeling of your body on the ground. Sounds as they arrive in your ears without requiring anything from you. feeling of the breath at the nostrils. Any sensation works. Anything that feels safe and okay. And then letting things be simple. Letting your attention rest here. A million other things are happening in the world, but for now, you're just focused on this. Letting it be enough. And of course, your mind will do what it does so well because it cares for you and think about other things. And when you notice that happens, great. It's fabulous. Can you as gently as possible, let go of that other thing and allow your attention to come back? Gently shepherding your attention. Not because this thing is the most important thing in the world, but because it's what you're committed to right now. This is what you care about for now. This simple part of your experience of your body in space. And this simplicity, this ease, this care has a way of allowing other more important things to sort of click into place, to fall into order. And so, of course, as always, if this feels good, stay here. Keep letting the practice and your attention be simple. But if you'd like to follow along into a different direction, contemplation around care, then what I will be guiding reflection on is a sense of growth in the idea of care over the course of your life. What I mean by that is some way in which the category or definition or experience of care has blossomed and changed as you have blossomed and changed. To do this, I invite you to think about some expression of care you experienced when you were younger. And younger could be 1 year ago, or 7 years ago, or when you were a child. Some way in which someone expressed care to you, and touching that feeling of gratitude or warmth. You don't even have to have a specific or clear memory. It can just be a felt sense in the body. But try to let it be uncontrived. You're not manufacturing a certain emotion or memory. You're just recalling a sense of how care used to feel in your life. How were you cared for? In a previous version of yourself. Good. And then from there, allowing a felt sense of what care feels like in your life today to surface. And this could be something, again, clear or specific. Or, again, maybe just a general vibe. Could be a small montage of moments where you've received care from others, given it to them. Could be just a feeling of brightness behind your eyes or in your chest, or kind of bubbly, tingly, happy experience. Or maybe kind of muted. That's okay too. What does care feel like to you now? Good. And then the final movement, the last invitation, is to reflect on both of these together. To contemplate the relationship between these experiences of care over your life. How early experiences of care brought you to present experiences of it. And also maybe any sense or quality of change that has occurred. Maybe through the care you've received, you've grown into a more caring person yourself. Maybe you've learned what kinds of care feel really good and delicious to you, and you've learned how to ask for more of it. Maybe you've modeled your relationships of care in such a way that you are able to receive that care more vibrantly or more clearly on your own terms. Maybe there's a large sense of abundance, like there is more care in the world as you have experienced care consistently through your life. And of course, with this reflection, there's also the possibility of some sadness or ambivalence. Maybe there are forms of care that you miss, that you wish that you had, or that your life feels less careful today than it did. And that's okay too. That is an important and worthwhile thing to listen to. All emotions have things they can teach us about what we need and what we feel. So whether your life feels like it has blossomed richly into a delightfully caring place, or you feel some grief at the ways in which care has diminished or become harder to find, I invite you to extend some care to yourself in these last moments. You can physically touch your body, putting a hand on your chest or giving yourself a hug if that feels good. Offering care directly to this body, to your mind for allowing you to shape its attention for a bit, to your body for carrying you all this way, caring for you, and to yourself for taking this time to reflect on how care feels to you over the arc of your life. All right, great work. I am truly extending heartfelt care to you wherever you are and however this finds you. Of course, I hope that through this practice you are able to touch forms of care that feel new and powerful, that you've claimed for yourself and grown into. For me, it is easy to lose sight of the long view, to miss the big picture of my life, and to take for granted the things that I've fought really hard for, the kinds of growth and change that I have really sought for myself. For me, I do feel that my life has become more caring and that I have learned how I want people to treat me more clearly with time. Reflecting back on earlier versions of care that brought me here is a powerful reminder of all of the care that I've extended to myself and that I've given to others. But I do want to say in no uncertain terms, that's not the experience for everyone. There are rough patches and dark seasons, and many, many people in the world are experiencing real senses of alienation from themselves or from each other. And those are okay too. I really believe in leading from what you need. And I believe that these heavy emotions, places where we are not receiving care, can also be a compass. Because if you need something, it's likely that someone else needs something too. Being vulnerable and honest with yourself first about what you need, and then finding other people who need that same thing, is how healthy community grows, in my observation and in my experience. And for many of us, the reality is it's both. There are forms of care that are new, that we have learned, that we have claimed for ourselves, and there are things that we will miss. None of us are babies anymore who can rely on a caregiver for all of our needs. There are parts of being an adult, of being an integrated human, that require taking responsibility and showing up for ourselves and others. And those things can be challenging or exhausting. So I do hope that this is and can continue to be a space for you to find some rest, to receive some care for yourself. And I hope that you continue to move through the world with a sense of care until I see you again. Till next time.